Hello and welcome to the Sharp Psych. Today, we're going to talk about how to recover from a codependent relationship. So make sure you watch this video until the end so you can learn about some of the unhealthy patterns of codependency. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more content like this. Also, check out the links in the descriptions for my best recommendations. Now, let's get started. So, the first obvious thing to do is to define the concept. Codependency, in simple words, is a term used to describe an unhealthy relationship dynamic in which one partner is overly dependent on the other. In codependent relationships, one partner typically takes on the role of the caretaker, and the other partner is the recipient of the caretaking. This often makes the relationship one-sided and can be damaging to both partners. For some of you who thought codependency means something different, let me tell you that there is a difference between codependency and the term codependency, which means a relationship in which both partners rely on each other in a healthy and balanced way. In addition, the term codependency was originally used to describe the relationship dynamics between an alcoholic and their spouse. However, in recent years, it has been used to qualify any type of dysfunctional relationship in which one partner is overly dependent on the other. As with any disorder, there are types of personalities that could lead to it. In codependency's case, it often stems from one of three types of attachment styles. First, there are people with an insecure attachment style. These people tend to fear abandonment. As a result, they often cling to relationships or people who make them feel safe and secure. Secondly, people with an anxious attachment style can be prone to codependency. This is because they tend to be anxious and clingy in relationships, so they fear rejection and abandonment, and as a result, they often become overly dependent on their partner for emotional support and validation. Finally, there are people with an avoidant attachment style, which may also become codependent. That is because they tend to be fearful of intimacy and closeness in relationships. They often isolate themselves from others and push away any potential partners who may threaten their sense of independence. Codependency can manifest in a variety of ways. Here are some of its most common signs. Someone who is overly involved in the lives of others. Codependent people may try to control the behavior of their partner or offer unsolicited advice on how to live their lives. They may also try to fix other people's problems or take responsibility for their actions. Secondly, they have a difficulty saying no. People who suffer from this may have difficulty saying no to requests from others. They may also find it difficult to set boundaries in relationships and may end up feeling taken advantage of or used by others. Another sign of codependency is difficulty expressing emotions. A codependent person may have difficulty expressing their emotions, which could lead to repressing them instead. They may also have difficulty recognizing and validating their own emotions and needs. In addition, there are people with the fear of abandonment. These people may have an intense fear of abandonment, which causes them to become clingy and desperate to please their partner to avoid being left. Finally, codependent people often have low self-esteem and may feel inadequate or unlovable. They may also have difficulty asserting themselves and may have an unhealthy need for validation and approval from others. Now that we saw the signs of a codependent person, we can see that it would hurt relationships. But if you're still not convinced, here are some reasons why this behavior would have devastating effects. Codependent individuals often struggle to maintain healthy boundaries in relationships and may end up feeling taken advantage of or used by their partners. Moreover, codependent relationships often involve one partner taking on the role of the caretaker and the other partner taking on the role of the recipient of care. This type of a relationship can be damaging to both partners, as it can lead to a sense of powerlessness for the caretaker and a sense of guilt or obligation for the recipient. This type of relationship can also be emotionally draining for both partners because codependent people struggle to express their own needs and may feel trapped in the relationship. Finally, codependent relationships can lead to a lack of communication and intimacy between the two partners. That's because the recipient in this relationship struggles to express their feelings and may find it difficult to be vulnerable in the relationship. As a result, the relationship can become stagnant and unfulfilling for both partners. Codependency doesn't just appear from thin air. It's usually the result of different factors, such as unhealthy family dynamics. People who grew up in a home environment where their needs were not met or where their parents were overly controlling or critical may be more likely to become codependent. Another reason is previous unhealthy relationships. A person that has been in previous relationships where they were taken advantage of may be more likely to become codependent in their next relationships. A low self-esteem can be the result of being codependent. It is also a leading cause. This is because a person with low self-esteem views themselves as being unworthy of love, and as a result, may lead to becoming overly dependent on their partner for validation and approval. If you're a person struggling with codependency, there are several steps you can take to overcome it. Here are some of the tips that can serve you as a guide. First, learn to recognize your codependent behaviors. If you are codependent, it is very important to start admitting that to yourself. This will help you identify the behaviors you need to work on. Second, we would suggest practicing self-care. This is an essential part of overcoming codependency. It means setting boundaries in relationships, learning to say no, and taking time to focus on your own needs and feelings. Also, building your self-esteem is another important step in overcoming codependency. It's your responsibility to challenge negative thoughts and learn to recognize and validate your own needs and feelings. If you want to know more about how to boost your self-esteem, you can find a link to that video in the description below. Finally, if it feels like too much to do alone, seek professional help. If you're struggling with codependency, it may be helpful to go to a therapist that can help you identify and address the underlying causes of your codependency and provide you with the tools and support you need to overcome it. In addition to all of this, the work doesn't have to fall on the codependent person alone. So, if your partner is struggling with this, in this last section, we will suggest several steps you can take to help them. The first thing is to be patient. If your partner is struggling with codependency, it will take time for them to overcome it. It's important to be patient and understanding as they work through the process. Secondly, please try to practice healthy communication. This is essential for helping a partner with codependency. All you need to do is listen to your partner without judgment and validate their feelings and needs. Another important tip is to respect their boundaries. If your partner is codependent, try not to push them to do things that make them uncomfortable or pressure them to change. The fourth thing you can do is offer support, which can be a great way to help them with their codependency. This can be as simple as letting them know that you're there to listen and providing them unconditional love and acceptance. Finally, if your partner is not sure about seeking help, encourage them to do so. In the end, if you're struggling with codependency or are concerned about a codependency in your relationship, the first step is to understand this condition and work together with your partner to overcome it. I understand that it won't be easy, but with real effort and love, you can repair your relationship and live a happy and meaningful life. Thanks for watching. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.